Minerva. On today's catch up, we are talking novelty prints, and boy do I have a showcase extravaganza of novelty prints for you. There is so much, as you can tell by what's going on behind me here. I've got a whole bunch of really gorgeous fabrics to share with you and to inspire you with today with our novelty prints. But before we get stuck in and look at all these gorgeous fabrics, I thought I would just share with you quickly what I'm wearing today. I am wearing a top that we do the pattern to, which is part of Gertie's charm line of patterns that we stock here at Minerva, and it is her Rita pattern. However, my fabric is quite an old fabric. It is Alice in Wonderland, and I just thought my Alice in Wonderland themed Rita top was the perfect thing to wear for today's showcase. So even though you can no longer get my fabric, I am sure with all these beautiful fabrics that I have going on behind me, you will find something that you can make your very own Rita in. I'm sure you're asking, what is actually classified as a novelty print? Well, within a short answer, novelty prints really are just an eclectic bunch of prints that don't fit in with our predefined search menu on the website. So when you're having a look on the website for fabric, you will see the little menu down on the right hand side or left hand side as you look at the screen, and when you look under your fabric category, you'll see things like checks and stripes and Disney and dinosaurs and floral and all sorts of stuff really. But novelty prints are just prints that we don't quite have one of those predefined categories for, and that is what a novelty print is. It's just really an uncategorized print that lives amongst our assortment on the website. Now we're going to take a look at these gorgeous prints in closer detail as part of our fabric showcase of novelty prints. Now I know all these prints won't be to everyone's taste, so we've got an amazing selection across the board of rayon challises, quilting cottons, jersey knits, and some really lovely poplins and a bit of needlecord thrown in there as well. So we've got quite a lot to get through, and I know everything isn't going to be to everybody's taste, but I'm sure if you're anything like me, you're not going to struggle too hard, I have to admit, in finding something that you could quite happily make up from this collection of fabric. Before we dive in and take a look at this amazing showcase of novelty print fabrics, I just want to remind you to make sure that if you are a member of our Minerva community, that you are logged into your account, and if you're not yet a member of the Minerva community, please do join us, and all you need to do is pop in your name and an email address, and with that we send you a lovely little thank you for joining the Minerva community. And by joining us at Minerva and all the other sewists as a part of our community, it allows you to save fabric details, references, save reference to other people's makes, comment on other people's makes, like other people's makes, save videos like this one, because it is quite a mammoth good hour to get through, and you might not be able to do it all in one go. So by joining us and being a part of the Minerva community, it does make it a little bit easier to come back to some of these really fun features that we offer, because it will be saved directly in your own little world of Minerva, and it will be so easy for you to find as your quick reference to come back to that fabric that you thought, oh, I love that, I've got to have that one. You will notice as we work our way through the novelty showcase, you will have all the pop-ups that will come up to say, you know, add me to your shopping basket. Now, if you're someone like me that likes to add them on the way through because you think, yeah, I like that fabric, or I like that pattern that she's mentioned that would look great with that, I find it really easy just to use the pop-ups. purely as a method of favoriting the particular fabric, because when I have found them all in my shopping basket, I can then go back through and have a look at each one of the fabrics individually, and then favourite them to my actual space in Minerva. So do utilise all the pop-ups, because they are really, really handy to help you sort through all these amazing fabrics that we have here on our Novelty print showcase. The first lot of fabric I'm going to show you is from a UK manufacturer called Dashwood Studios, who love to design fabric that is innovative, contemporary, and more importantly, they love to challenge and inspire our creative soul. That is their company ethos, and I absolutely love that, because as a sewer, that just gets me really excited and brings out so many ideas when I look at fabric, and that's what I really love to do, is to look at fabric and be instantly inspired, don't you? But yeah, that's me. So anyway, we have some really gorgeous fabrics from Dashwood Studios. I have a lovely rayon challis from them, I have some needle cord, and I also have some lovely quilting cottons, but they also do some jerseys as well, but I haven't got anything of that to show you today. But anyway, so what we're going to have a look at is this gorgeous rayon challis from their Circle Line collection, and I think this is just absolutely stunning. This is the colour, or this is the pink. It is beautiful, it is soft, it is vibrant, and it is very, very bold. So yeah, that one is it in the pink. Then we have the gorgeous blue. I'm going to say this is blue, but the colour listing on the website is turquoise. But I don't think it's much and much between the blue and the turquoise. But either way, it's got a bit of blue, it's got a bit of green in it, or that tealy, more that tealy shade going on. But again, absolutely gorgeous, stunning colourway. And then the last fabric that we have in the Circle Line collection is this particular one here, which is the multi. Now, the multi to me, I look at and I instantly see slightly more green, but it has that really splash of foresty green, the lovely blue, and the pink. So you do get those three gorgeous colours all meshed into this one. Now, these are traditional dress fabric width fabrics, so you are looking at that 140 centimetre width of the fabric, so you've got a really good length to play with when it comes to creating your garment. Now, the one thing that you do need to remember about this actual fabric is, besides the fact it is all very bright, very bold, very in your face, whatever you make, it will be a serious statement. So you might want to choose your pattern wisely. Now, you could go the whole hog and make an amazing dress in it, and it will be a true statement, or you might just want to go a bit subtle and do a top. Because the fabric is so loud, is so vibrant, is so incredibly gorgeous, you really want the fabric to stand out and to be the statement that it truly is. Because let's face it, making something up in this particular fabric, it is going to inspire and challenge your creative soul within. The next fabric we're going to take a look at from Dashwood Studios is this gorgeous quilting cotton that they do, which is called Our Planet, and I absolutely love this. I think this is just an incredibly gorgeous fabric. I love it, the fact that I instantly look at this and I just think animals on safari. Now, the only reason that I don't really want to call it a safari fabric is that when you look a little bit closer, you have my own little native koala that features in this beautiful fabric. And to be honest, I don't know what he would be doing in the Serengeti unless he has gone on holiday, I have to say. But yes, we have this beautiful animals on safari theme going on with this gorgeous quilting cotton from Dashwood Studios. So it's a quilting cotton. It comes as 110 centimetres wide, or 43 inches, and it's 100% cotton poplin, so it is really beautiful. Now, this particular one, it comes in the two colours. So we've got this one here, which is the mint, and then we have the lovely navy, And as I roll this out, I think you can see that the navy just pops so much more, I think, than the mint. I have to say, I love this in the navy. I think it is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Now, as you look at this, I will say to you that it is quite a large pattern repeat. So when you're looking at our little giraffe here, his nose to his nose there is 30 centimetres. Then his nose from here, and you've got the other part of his nose is all the way over here, that is 51 centimetres. Now, as the pattern drops, you kind of have this half drop in between the actual pattern repeat, and that is very similar to something that you would find in a curtain pattern type of fabric, or even in a wallpaper, where you get the repeat of the pattern also within the half drop. Now, the only reason that I do mention that is because I think you will find when you're going to select your pattern for this particular fabric, you will use slightly more of it than what you've anticipated that you will use. But then again, I guess it depends upon how anal you are with your pattern matching. But anyway, I would say you're going to use slightly more than what you think, so do add on a little bit extra when you do order it. So we have this beautiful, beautiful quilting cotton, animals on safari, in this lovely navy and in the mint. I know which one I like best. Which one do you like best? The next fabric we're going to take a look at from Dashwood Studios is this beautiful, super fine, super gorgeous needle cord. Now, I have two fabrics in the needle cord. I've got this beautiful mustard butterfly going on here, and then I have this really lovely, beautiful pale blue giraffe that I think is super, super stunning. I have to say, when I saw these, I knew instantly what I wanted to make, being pajamas out of my giraffe, because the fabric is just soft and cozy and really lovely, and I think they would make the perfect pair of winter jammies. And then for the, so they stick these two, and then for this particular one, which is the mustard, I just thought, you know what, winter skirt and done. So yeah, I have to be honest, I don't think Dashwood Studios challenged my creative soul in any way. They did just, you know, show me two fabrics and I knew instantly what I wanted to make. So yeah, that's the name of the game, and I love that. When I see something, I just know instantly what I want to do with it. So what we have here is our gorgeous mustard butterfly fabric. Now, these are 145, no they're not, they're 150 centimetres wide. So they're a really great dress width fabric. As I said, it's a really super fine needle cord. It is a little bit more like a brushed type of fabric. And with the butterfly pattern repeat, from the top to the bottom here of your butterfly, that is 10 centimetres, and from here to here, he is 12 centimetres. So you have this really lovely style pattern repeat, not too big, not too small, really, really cute. Now, when we take a look at our lovely giraffe pattern, again, we've got a really good size pattern repeat as well. So our giraffe, from his little head to his feet, he is 11 centimetres, and from tail to tail, he is 16 centimetres. So I think if you pick the right type of pattern for these two fabrics, because I think your pattern proportioning is really important when it comes to these two, because you do want something that is literally going to stand out and not get too lost. I think you would have something really, really beautiful when it is all made up. So the next lot of fabrics we're going to take a look at are some really fun viscose challises, and the first one that I've got to show you is someone who I can only describe as my little dachshund friend. It was love at first sight. I absolutely love this. This really pale pink fabric with this little lovely dachshund print. You know, print with him on there, little hearts, little diamonds. I just love it. I think this is really cute, super fun, and would make into a really lovely top or a dress. I can see this in so many things. But yeah, it's lovely, it's soft, it's drapey. It is a little bit on the opaque side. So that would be my only concern, that it might be a little bit see-through, but hey, I guess it depends upon what pattern you pick to how it works out with how much fabric you use. But yeah, this one is absolutely beautiful. It is 145 centimeters wide, so it's a really good dress width fabric, and just too cute. I just love my dachshund friend. I don't know what else I can say about him. Right, the next fabric that I have for you is a really beautiful unicorn challis. So I will say our challis fabrics do have a little bit of a theme. They all do have an animal of some description featuring on them. And this one here, I guess it takes it a little bit more with fantasy theme with the unicorn. But the unicorn has got an amazing amount of tiny little flowers dotted all around him. The unicorn itself is white, and the background that he's on, even though he's a navy fabric, it's got lots of pale blue and splashes of white, so it's got an incredible amount of detail, and I don't think the unicorn stands out too much. You know, if you're someone who doesn't quite do a fantasy feel fabric, because I know some people could look at this and go, no, don't do that. But anyway, it is a really lovely fabric. Again, it's your viscose challis. It is 145 centimeters wide. It's not as transparent or opaque, I think opaque's a better word, like our dachshund friend. So he's got a little bit more body to him, but it is still incredibly soft, incredibly drapey, and I think it doesn't matter what you make from this particular fabric, I think you will have a really beautiful piece of clothing that will be almost ageless, I think, because I think this fabric works for so many people, you know, young, old, small children, whatever. I just think it will work, and it will look really beautiful made up, and you might even like to make it up in something like my Rita top that I'm wearing today that is a little bit of a fun summer vibe. But I just think this fabric would make up really beautifully, and you would be super happy with the outcome of it. The next fabric that we're going to have a look at in our challis range is this really lovely multi-shaded taupe fabric. It has a really lovely splash of blue on it, and it's got very tiny little horses and tiny jockeys on their horses, on their little horses riding around. And I think the blue to this fabric gives it a really nice splash of colour and makes it a little bit more interesting. The scale of the pattern is really quite small. It is roughly between 10 and 12 mil, the size of the pattern. It is super tiny as far as patterns go, but the actual effect of this pattern with the scale and I think the colourway that it's done in does make it a really super effective print. Now the size of the fabric, again, it's your 140 wide, so a really great dress fabric, and the fabric composition is actually called tenicle, which is something we all may not be as familiar with when we're looking through all of it and thinking, oh, what is that one compared to a viscose? But it's just another type of man-made fibre that is made in a lot of the similar same ways with the cellulose fibres, but the actual production process is a little bit difficult, or is a little bit different, I should say. But you still get that amazing drape and softness and lustrous feel that we get with a lot of our gorgeous viscose fabrics. So this is definitely another one to add to your wardrobe. The next few fabrics we're going to have a look at are some really lovely, fun, classic novelty print broadcloths. These do scream classic novelty print, so they're all fun and they're all a bit silly. So the first one we're going to take a look at is this really lovely, I'm going to say Jurassic Park themed dinosaur print. Yeah, it's all dinosaurs for anyone who has grown up watching Jurassic Park, maybe hiding behind the sofa, or someone that is just a budding paleontologist that just loves dinosaurs. I don't know what else to say, but yeah, we've got this really gorgeous fabric. It is, as I said, it's a lovely cotton broadcloth, so it's a really nice, lovely, soft weight. It is 150 centimeters, so you've got a really good width of fabric to play with when it comes to selecting your pattern with this. Now, just to give you a bit of an idea of how many dinosaurs are on here. I'm going to try and name a few, okay? So I hope I pronounced them correctly. We have our lovely Diplodocus, which is here. So he's the bright blue one. Then we have a gorgeous little yellow one here, which is our Stegosaurus. Then we also have our gorgeous little Triceratops. He's here, so he's more the orange one that is jumping out. Then we also have our T-Rex. Where is he? I've lost our little T-Rex. He is here. Then we also have our Velociraptor, which we've got here. And then we have a little pterodactyl, which is one of our little flying friends, which is, where is he? Where is he? Oh, here he is. He's all the way over here, or there. So, yeah. So, we've got quite a few on here. And to be honest, I think if you know anyone that absolutely loves their dinosaurs or can name at least 3 dinosaurs on this fabric, unlike I've had to look them up to work out who is who and trying to memorize them, I think you should be making something out of this really gorgeous cotton broadcloth, because I really do think any dinosaur lover, any budding paleontologist will absolutely love you forever, because you've really taken the time and made something super special for them. The next broadcloth I have for you is our comic book superhero fabric. I don't know how else to describe it, but it is definitely a comic book theme fabric where you have all the slap and wham and ouch, all the really great comic book slogans that you will find in a traditional comic book or if you've grown up watching a bit of 1960s Adam West Batman, that featured quite heavily there as well, I have to say, the great fun slogans. Now, this is the perfect fabric if you don't know where the loyalty of your comic book hero fan lies, because let's face it, you are either DC or Marvel, so we are talking Captain America or Batman. And if you don't know the loyalty of your comic book fan, this is fairly much the absolute perfect fabric. So we have this one in 2 colourways. First up, I'll show you the lovely blue. It's a really lovely sky blue background, so you've got all the really great colours that look really bold and punchy on it. So you've got this one here, which is really lovely. I have to say the blue kind of reminds me a little bit more of a denim-y blue, but either way, it is a sky blue. So we've got this particular one. And then you've got the really lovely white version where it is a little bit cleaner. Again, the colours still pop. The colours are still really beautiful, still really bold. You get a little bit more of the black outline with it around some of the little slogans. But again, a really great fabric. And I think if you know someone who loves their comic books, maybe they're a bit of a Big Bang kind of person that loves watching that, I think again they would really appreciate the fact that you've taken the time to make them something out of something that they really love with one of these beautiful novelty prints. Here we've got another really lovely broadcloth. However, for this one you may need to wear your sunglasses because it is so seriously bright. It is super zesty, so we have lots of those zesty tones going on. So that is that orange, that lime colour, that yellow going on, and it is slices of citrus fruit. So yes, again, I'm going to use the word zesty. So we have slices of lemons, limes, oranges, grapefruit, any sort of citrus fruit you can imagine. I reckon it's in this picture or in this fabric here. It is really fun, really colourful, really vibrant and really quite bright, but the fabric width is 150 centimeters, so you've got a really nice broadcloth width, and it is also incredibly soft, which a lot of the broadcloths are. So even though this one is so bright and you might need your sunglasses when you're making it up and when you're wearing it out, this is another really, really lovely fabric. here we have our last broadcloth, and I think this one is really quite fun. I don't know if you would classify it as animal, Hawaiian, or maybe even Florida. It does scream Florida to me. I don't know why, but it does. It's a real mix. We have a very dodgy duck, we have some pineapples, we have some crocodiles, we have some palm trees, we have bananas. There's all sorts of things going on in this really fun illustrative fabric, and I think the really lovely thing about this particular fabric is that the illustrations are really quite simplistic and almost naive, and they kind of remind me of something that a three-year-old may have drawn. Maybe I know some very talented three-year-olds, I don't know, or maybe the designer of this fabric has taken creative license of their three-year-old work and has popped it into production. I guess we would never know. But it also comes in a blue, and I think the blue is really quite bold and really quite striking, and our dodgy duck looks a little bit less like a duck and more like a stumpy-legged flamingo, I will be honest. Again, it's a really lovely cotton poplin. It is 149 centimetres wide, or that 58 inches. The navy has quite a nice weight to it. It's not as opaque as what the white is, I will be honest, because when you do look at the white, you will notice that there is a little bit of shadowing that goes on behind it. So the white is quite pale, or a little bit more opaque in texture of the fabric. But either way, you've got two really great, really fun fabrics, in a really bold, one in a really bold colorway, one not so bold, but a really fun illustrative tropical print. Staying with the navy and white themed background fabrics, here we have a amazing print of Converse trainers, this one here on the navy and then this one here on the white, and you've got to agree, for anyone that loves their Converse trainers, this is just the perfect print. When I look at these high tops, all I really see is predominantly the red, the blue and the orange that just really pops out in such a bold splash of colour. Now this is 100% cotton poplin, so they're both 110 centimetres wide, which is a traditional quilting cotton width fabric. Now the great thing about these or this fabric, I should say, is that this particular quilting cotton, it is an unbranded quilting cotton, so you don't get the heftier price tags per metre that you will get with some of our more branded fabrics that we stock. So here you've got amazing quality, amazing styling, lots and lots of detail within the Converse trainers themselves without the hefty price tag. Now, what is not to love about that? Two really great prints, or two really great colorways in this beautiful print that, as I say, is just perfect for the Converse trainer lover that you may know. So for our last woven fabric, we have what I'm going to describe as our hero stripe, which is this really lovely simple rainbow stripe that we have in 3 different widths. So we've got our lovely wide stripe, which is 52 mil. Then we have a narrower stripe, which is 9 mil, and then we have the one that falls in between, which is the 27 mil. Now, all I can say is that this is a really, really bright, bold, and very impactful stripe. And this particular fabric, we all know it, we've all seen it around, and it is so synonymous with so many amazing groups that I think the one thing that it does represent across everywhere is hope, and I think that is absolutely amazing. And actually, hope is the simplest form of what the rainbow stripe represents. Now, this particular fabric, it is a poly cotton, so it is a little bit stiffer than some of the other fabrics that we have been talking about, and it does tend to hold its shape a lot more because it is that little bit more rigid, and it will stick out and just generally hold its shape regardless of what you're going to make with it. Again, it is a quilting cotton width, so it is that 44 inches, 112 centimeters wide, and also being a poly cotton mix, it's really quite budget friendly. I have to say that, because it is more budget friendly, so it does allow you to use a lot more in your make, so you can go quite loud, I guess. You can just go really loud with whatever you make from this fabric. So as I would say, go big, go bold, or just go home. We are nearly at the end of our novelty fabric showcase, I have to say. We're nearly there, and thank you so much for staying with me. I know there has been a huge amount of fabric that we've gone through, and I'm sure some of it you may have found a little bit overwhelming because there does seem to be just so much. The last lot of fabrics that I have for you are our jersey knits. So we've got 3 different fabrics, or 3 different styles of fabrics that come in 3 different colorways. So there's still a bit, but not as much as what you might think there is. The jersey knits are 95% cotton and 5% lycra or elastane. Now the term lycra and elastane are exactly the same thing. The only real difference is that lycra is a trademark brand name, where elastane is just a general term that gets used for a lot of things, I guess. So the difference between the fabric of being a lycra mix or an elastane mix, there is absolutely no difference. So when you are looking at the fabric and you're thinking, oh my god, is there going to be a difference in the stretch, or is it going to hang a bit different? There is no difference whatsoever. It's just that one is a branded name, one isn't, and you don't have to worry about it. First up for our jersey prints, we're going to have a look at, here it is, of this lovely fire engine design on this really crisp white background. When you look at this particular design quite closely, you will notice it's got a credible amount of detail in it. It's got a little bit blue, it's got a tiny bit of yellow, it's got a bit of orange. It is really a lovely detailed design. The fire engines themselves are sporadically spread out over the actual fabric, and they're 2 by 4 centimeters in size. So it's not a huge print, but it is a really nice, lovely, good scale, detailed design. This particular fabric does come in 3 colors. So we've got it in the lovely white, then we've got it in a grey, which I will be honest is not my favourite colourway out of it, because I think the fire engines get a little bit lost in the grey. And then we've got it in a really lovely navy. Now the navy for me again is super striking and really lovely. This particular fabric, it has a really nice amount of stretch to it. It's a nice amount of drape, and it is just a really lovely, you know, lycra knit that you can make lots of beautiful things from. The next fabric I have to show you is this really lovely elephant print. I do love this. I think it is really bright, colourful, an amazing amount of detail in this design. I absolutely love it. And then yet there is something about this elephant print that actually reminds me of old sepia photos. I don't know what it is. I think it is just the mix of all the colours that they use in it. Now again, you've got a beautiful drape to your lycra, nice amount of stretch, and again a great fabric. This particular print, it does come in 3 colorways. So you've got this particular version here, which is classified as grey, but I don't know, it's a little bit grey blue for me. It's slightly more on the blue side, but it is listed as grey. Then you have this amazing pink that I think has just, again, it is beautiful. Even though the elephants are quite bold in this whole design, I think they get a little bit more lost in the pink, and the pink is a little bit more of a mash of different shades of pink, where the elephant kind of just pops through, but still an incredibly lovely colourway in this fabric. And then the last colourway that we have is the elephants in a gorgeous mint colour. So again, you've got, I think it's very similar to the first one that I showed you, that is the grey where the elephant is very similar in colour, but instead of that little bit of a splash of blue and more green, it's a softer colourway. You've got a bit more pink in it and a little bit more mint in it. But again, a really beautiful colourway for an amazing, bold, vibrant fabric. And I think if you know someone who loves their wildlife, giving them something in this made up would be absolutely beautiful, and I think they would just absolutely love it. Now, the very, very last fabric I've got to show you. Did you ever think we would make it to the end? I wasn't quite sure we would either. But anyway, we have this amazing, very vibrant and very bright print. This particular one, it is feathers and flowers. So you've got a mix of really vibrant colours on it. With this particular one is the green version, so you've got this amazing bromeliad, absolutely popping in the orange, on this green background with the different shades of blue with it, and an amazing amount of detail with the peacock feathers in it. It is just really gorgeous. I absolutely love the green in this particular fabric. I think it's the colourway that pops the actual most for me. Then the next colourway we have in it is this particular one here, which is the yellow one, which is a real great mix of the blue and a bit of pink with it, on the yellow background. So again, you've got an incredible, vibrant, beautiful fabric in that one. And the last colourway is the amazing pink, or rose. So again, beautiful, a lot more. The pink is still quite pink, but I think there's not as much going on with all the other colours. So the pink isn't as bold as some of the others. I'm going to put it out there. You might disagree with me. But again, you've got that great detail in your bromeliad. You've got the different shades with the feather detail. And again, it is just another beautiful fabric, a great cotton jersey that you will be able to make a really beautiful statement piece out of. So that is all of our fabrics. We have made it to the absolute end of our fabric showcase. Now, please do stay tuned for part 2, where I've got half a dozen patterns or so that we're just going to have a bit of a quick flick with, as a little bit of inspiration for you on what to use these gorgeous fabrics from. For the first pattern that I'm going to suggest for our novelty showcase fabric pattern selection that I've got going on here, I'm going to suggest a really lovely simplicity pattern, which is S9045. Now, this is just an incredible simple shell top pattern that will allow this gorgeous fabric to stand out and to shine on its own, which is really what this fabric is all about and needs to do. So if you wanted something a little bit more with this pattern, because you do have the 3 options of it being a really simple shell top, that little bit of detail on the shoulder, or if you wanted something a bit more dramatic, you've got that flicky collar thing going on, which I think will just look amazing. And this pattern is simple enough to let this gorgeous fabric shine, which is really important. Now, if you did want to see this fabric made up into something slightly more dramatic and more in your face, check out Jerry in Stitches. Her jumpsuit that she has done in this using the pink is just to die for, and I think this gives you a really good idea of using this fabric for a dress or something like that, because you can see how much fabric there is and what sort of a statement garment you can end up with by using this gorgeous viscose challis fabric. The next fabric that we're going to have a look at as part of our pattern inspiration is a pattern for this lovely Dashwood Studios fabric called Our Planet. And as my husband edited the first half of the video, he did rightly point out to me and say that our lovely little tiger here, he doesn't belong in the Serengeti either, because he comes from India. Now, my smart comment back to him was that the koala and he were pen pals, and they decided to go on safari together to the Serengeti. So now that we have everyone in their correct geographical places, I am going to say this lovely zoo collection of wild animals. And my pattern choice for this is actually a really great simplicity pattern, which is S8937. Now, when I did look at this particular fabric, I wanted something that didn't have a lot of lines and would really allow this fabric again to pop and to be showcased all on its own. And I did sort of think, oh, a throw, a cape, and quite a number of things like that. And I did think this particular fabric would just be perfect in something like this. Now, there are quite a number of styles of this particular cape, wrap, poolside throw, I don't know what you want to call it, but there are a number of styles around, whether or not you want to go for something for a child or something for yourself. But the one thing that I will remind you on is that your pattern repeat for this is quite large. So we've got our little giraffe there to there, nose to nose there. He's 30 centimetres, and then when you get across from here, nose here to nose all the way over here, he's 51 centimetres. So you will possibly use more fabric than what you think you will use because of the way how we've got the drop on the actual fabric. And I just think this particular fabric, it will stand out no matter what colour that you do it in, whether or not, oh, I've got him the wrong way, whether or not you do it in the lovely minty blue colour, or you go for our great dark navy print. I think this particular fabric will look absolutely amazing in something like this that is just a throw or is something that has incredibly simple lines. Let's take a look at now our Dashwood Studios really gorgeous needle cord fabric. I absolutely love this. So again, we have our lovely animal theme with this, and as I said at the very beginning, if you can remember back that far, I immediately wanted to make a pair of pajamas from this, or a winter skirt from our gorgeous butterfly pattern. So what I've gone with is a really lovely kids pattern, little girls pattern from Burda, which is 9356, and I think this particular pattern just hits the nail on the head, because I think for maybe a little girl, because it does go down I think to 3 or something, 3 to 7 I think this pattern is, being a kids pattern, you would have this that would look super cute, made up for a little girl in the little pinafore with the A-line skirt. I just think that would just look absolutely gorgeous. And then you have got the beautiful butterfly, again made up in a really simple A-line skirt, and I just think this needle cord is just the absolute perfect pattern for this you know, perfect pattern fabric for this pattern. And I think if you made up these fabrics in this particular pattern, you won't be disappointed in it. For the gorgeous challis fabrics, I have chosen the McCall's pattern Alistair, which is M8043. Now, I'm sure you're all looking at this going, super plunging neckline, a little bit further you'll notice it's got quite an exposed back, but actually quite a few of us have made this pattern up. So you will find on the website, as you log in to have a look at the pattern, you will see that quite a few of us, including myself, have actually made up this particular top. So you've got quite a few variations to a theme that we've all done to tweak it, to make it just perfect for each of us of how we would particularly like this top. But the thing about this particular pattern that works so well with these fabrics is that you want something that is really quite fluid, which these fabrics are, and that is going to give you that really soft drapey feel. And I think this particular top is a really good example of what you can make, you know, currently going forward, being on trend and using one of these gorgeous challis fabrics. The next fabric we're going to have a look at is our lovely dinosaur fabric. Yeah, he was super cute. I absolutely loved this. I do have to be honest. Now, when it came to trying to find a pattern for this particular fabric, I decided that it was neither boys nor girls, women's nor men's. It is one for everyone. But regardless, what I have managed to find is a really super cute simplicity pattern, which is 8852, and I think this just gives a really lovely representation of this particular fabric made up in a little boy's shirt, or equally a lovely little dress for a little girl. You know, so there's not a lot of seams, they're really quite easy to do pattern wise, and I think both of them would look really, really effective and quite a little statement made up, you know, for your little one. And I think this particular fabric, as a predominantly child's print in something like a shirt or a little dress, is super in proportion and will look just amazing. Let's go with our next fabric, which is our superhero or our comic book fan fabric. Yeah, it is what it is. It falls into the category of both of them, I have to be honest. Now, I have decided to go with Simplicity Pattern 8180. Now, my reasoning for this, as my chosen pattern for this particular fabric, is that my husband saw it and he went, oh, that'd make a really cute shirt for Hector, who's our nephew. And I looked at it thinking, yeah, that would make you really cute boxer shorts. So this particular pattern, I was quite lucky that it kind of ticked both boxes. So it is, I think, really cute, because I just do think this particular pattern, if you wanted to make something fun for your other half, you could go with this particular pattern in a pair of boxer shorts. Regardless of these being men's boxer shorts, you could tweak them to be a women's pair of sleep shorts for yourself, or maybe your daughter, or someone else that you know, and then also it works great as a shirt. So I just think this particular pattern is just really super cute, and I think it's just something fun. And this particular shirt, I think, just looks really cute in a big version or a small version, which will work amazingly well with this particular fabric. So the next fabric we're going to have a look at is the lovely zesty lemons, limes and oranges. Now, yes, I did find this quite hard to work out what I'm going to actually make anything from. So I have gone down the really obvious route, and I did look up for the McCall's craft patterns that they had, and I came across M6978, and I chose this pattern because it did feature a lot of the same colorways or color tones as what's in the fabric. So I did think you would really be able to visualize how a fabric like this would look made up, and I thought that was really important, because I do sometimes think we do look at fabrics and we get a little bit stuck to think, I don't know how that's going to make up. But I thought this particular pattern, it gave you a little bit of visualization of what to do with this particular fabric. Now, the next pattern we're going to have a look at is our lovely Hawaiian print. I know it says Florida to me, but it has Hawaii on it, so I'll go Hawaii. We've got this particular print, so we've got it in the really striking colorway of the navy, and then the slightly more subtle colorway of the white. Now, I think this would look really fun made up in McCall's 7901. I just think it's a great summer top pattern. This is the summer fabric, and the two would work really, really well together. So even though it is quite simplistic top, I think it would look really great made up in this. And also this top, because of the ruching, I think if you went for this fabric as well in this particular top, I think when you ruche it up with all those colours through the middle, it would look really great as a wearable piece of clothing in a very vibrant colour. So either one of these fabrics I think would look amazing in this top. Now, for our Converse trainer fabric, yes, it's in the blue, and we also have the white. So either one of these fabrics are going to look made up amazing in my next choice of pattern. And I've gone with a quick sew pattern for a men's top, which is 3484. And this is just a really, really simple collared top that's a little bit bowling shirt American-esque style. So my husband did suggest that sort of pattern, which is a bit scary when I know what he's talking about. And he said, Oh yeah, that look really great. Colour block it a bit. You could have it really all stripe. You could have it just with the trainers going down one side, or you could have it all going on with the trainers with a really block of red. So clearly my husband has spent far too much time with me in my sewing room when he starts telling me what will look good together. And the scariest thing is that sometimes I agree with him. So check out this really lovely quick sew pattern, which would look absolutely great in this. And he did also say to me that he did kind of fancy maybe the orange as well, made up in this men's quick sew pattern, because to him it did scream Hawaii beach shirt. So I'm staying with the Go Big, Go Bold, or Go Home theme, I'm going to say with theme, for our Hero Stripe rainbow fabric. So we've got this gorgeous fabric and it is quite stiff and quite rigid. So that is really important when it comes to selecting the right pattern for this particular fabric. So I have gone for something that's a bit of a costume theme. Bear with me. I think it is a bit fun of what you could do with these lovely, lovely stripes. So the first pattern choice is a McCall's costume pattern, which is M7269. Now, this is just really fun. This is just really out there. But if you have a look, I really love the elastic waisted ruffle skirt. And I think you could do this particular pattern with all the stripes going down as, you know, going that way as a ruffled skirt, because you'd be cutting your pieces across, you would be matching them up, they would be really super quick, super easy to do, and I just think it would be a really fun skirt or whatever to wear if you were going somewhere that you wanted to wear your rainbow stripes to. Now, if you were an era where you don't do a ruffled skirt, you could have a look at the Simplicity pattern, which is the 8979. I really love this one. It's really simple. It's a gathered skirt, nice bust line across the neck here, and you've got the sheerness there. So you could actually get in another fabric and put a bit of sheerness on the opaque. You could leave it strapless. You could turn your stripes on the bias for this. There's lots and lots of things you could do. But the fabric for this, particularly for the skirt, it will be really great because it will give you a really nice puffball shape. And again, it has my theory of go big, go bold, or go home. For our fire engine fabric, because it is just a really, really great t-shirt fabric, fundamentally it's a really great t-shirt fabric, when it came to choosing a pattern, it was incredibly hard because there are so many variations to a theme of what a pattern could be for this particular fabric. So what I have chosen is a really lovely Simplicity kids pattern, which is S8996. Now, it is just a really simple little pajama top and little leggings, trousers that could be worn as pajamas or a tracksuit or whatever. It's just a really fun kids pattern that I think would look really striking made up in any one of the colours. So being either the white, the navy or the grey, because let's face it, when it comes to the fire engine fabric, because they are such lovely weight knits, you could do anything with them from leggings to t-shirts for adults or children. You could do pajamas in it because we have plenty of pajama patterns as well, and also when it comes for little ones, you can do them little sleep suits and rompers in it. So my choice of trying to find something that was a bit cute and a bit different and that showed a little bit colour blocking, which is something that you can do with this, because you could team both of them or these fabrics with another colour and make a really lovely striking outfit. For our gorgeous elephant fabric, just in case you can't remember what it was, because there were so many, it is actually this one here. The beautiful elephant fabric that is quite bold, quite in your face, and quite loud in the three gorgeous colorways. Now, what I've tried to do is pick a pattern that was really simple within its structure and its actual design lines, that there wasn't too many things that you had to cut in and distort any of your elephants with. And what I've managed to find is two really great patterns. I have found one for a little girl. So we've got this fantastic simplicity pattern, which is S8015. Now, again, it's just really lovely. It's very unstructured in the fact it doesn't have a lot of design lines that you will chop around and have to join with your pattern, so it really allows this gorgeous fabric to stand out and to be seen. And the women's pattern that I've picked is from Style Arc, and it is called their Tony dress. And again, you will see that it's unfussy with design lines, and it will allow this beautiful fabric to stand out and to be the primary focus, which is what we want. So even though the Tony pattern has a little bit of draping, I don't think it's going to take away in any way, shape or form from this particular gorgeous fabric. And I think either of these patterns, either the child's pattern or the women's pattern, is going to look amazing made up in this particular fabric. So we are at the end of our novelty showcase fabric extravaganza. So my last pattern that I'm going to recommend for all my novelty prints, or for my last novelty print that is remaining, which is just a little reminder for you, is the gorgeous bromeliad print that we have here in the pink and the green and the yellow. So you've got it in the three color options. I'm going to recommend a really lovely wrap dress by Vogue, which is 8379. Again, the styling of the dress is really simple. There's not too many lines. It can be sleeveless, or actually I should say with a short sleeve or with a long sleeve. And I think this particular dress pattern made up in this fabric will look absolutely gorgeous. Now, what you could do is equally use the Tony pattern for this fabric and use the Vogue dress pattern for the elephant as well. So you've got two patterns there that you may like to use for either one of these fabrics. I think both of the patterns will work amazingly well with either one of the fabrics. So we have made it to the end of our novelty print pattern showcase extravaganza. Call it what you will, it is a mammoth session that we've had going on this afternoon, isn't it? So thank you very much. I hope you have really loved all my patterns, choices that I've recommended to go with some of these gorgeous fabrics. Do leave a comment and let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know what you think of the fabrics. Let me know what you think of my pattern choices. And if you do make up anything out of this showcase, please do tag it to the video, because everyone would absolutely love to see what you have made, whether or not you have used just one of the fabrics, or you have used one of the patterns that I've suggested with the fabrics, or you've used a pattern and found another fabric. Whatever it may be, please do leave a comment so everyone else can share and be part of the Minerva community and see what everyone is making. So if you haven't already joined the Minerva community, before you leave, do log in just with your name and email address, and then that way next time you pop by, you can save all your favorite videos, fabrics, whatever it may be that you love about Minerva and that we have on the website. You can save it to your own little part of the Minerva community. So again, I just want to say thank you very much for hanging around for so long. I hope you have loved the video and what I have given you, and I shall see you very soon for another fabric video extravaganza. I don't know what it's going to be. You're just going to have a look. But again, thanks so much for stopping by. Take care, so on, and I will see you very soon.